Hey, fishing family, welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody is doing well. It is cold here in southern Jersey, so we've gotten hit with some snow, and some more snow is on the way, and some more snow after that. But it's cool. I like my seasons. I like my snow. But I'm Patrick, and today I'm with my daughter Winna.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And we wanted to kick off and kick up our live game this year. So in 2021, we're going to make it our mission to do more live events. It's something that we wanted to get into. And we thought this year we'll start off with a new series documenting Winna as she goes about researching and purchasing her first fishing kayak.
Yeah, I thought it was cool to go on a hunt with you guys for new kayaks and see that you can provide us with some information regarding like new kayaks that are out there or like something that will work best for me.
So we want to keep this free flowing. If anybody's got ideas or kayaks that they have now or kayaks that they're looking into that they think may fit the bill for Winna, please, by all means, join into the comments and share your experiences or the information. So Winna, we know last season you fished out of your brother's Strike HD by Lightning Kayaks. So tell everybody about your experience fishing out of the Strike HD, what you liked and what you didn't like about the Strike HD for you.
For me, it was beneficial. Like at first when I started, I did only paddle, but then worked more into using like the pedal drive and stuff like that. So I did like the pedal drive, but I'm more looking towards paddles right now. But I like that it was paddle and pedal efficient. Um, it was easy to maneuver throughout the waters and stuff, and it had cup holders and space for certain things that I needed for it, and even like storage and like the front area where there's a hatch. So what I didn't dislike, what I didn't like about it, um, not sure. um,
Well, I mean, other than looking for a kayak of your own, there's got to be a reason that you say, "Hell, I kind of need a kayak that's more for me," because the Strike HD kind of didn't fit the bill. So,
well,
like,
yeah,
what was it about the Strike HD for you that you wasn't completely comfortable with? That you sort of wanted to look for something that was more molded for you.
or probably like the length and the weight of it.
So
That's kind of the dislike of it.
it was too big.
Yeah.
So I don't remember off the top of my head. I think the Strike HD is like 12 feet, 12.3, 12.5, somewhere in there. And it's probably around, I'm going to say 60, 70 pounds, maybe a little bit more. I'll put the exact specs in the description when we post this to the channel. But so it's definitely 12 plus feet. I think like 12.3, 12.4, somewhere in there. And somewhere between 70, 80 pounds. Okay. So it was too long and too heavy for you was one of the issues.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else that you kind of didn't like about the Strike?
I don't think so. Yeah. Okay.
And if there's anybody in the broadcast that has a Strike or has an experience with a Strike, by all means, chime in. I see. Speaking of the Strike HD, I see PJ's in the comments. So your sister was just telling us what she didn't like about your kayak. She said it was too heavy and too long for her. That in addition to her just not liking, its owner. So, okay, so the Strike HD, you had a good season with it. You got your feet wet with kayak fishing, and it kind of gave you a good idea of what you liked and didn't like. And a couple of trips you went out on our lifetime pro fisher, right? So that was just a straight. I think that's a 10-foot, 75-pound kayak, and I think you took that out like once or twice, but mainly you were in the Strike last year. So you know what you like and didn't like about the Strike. There's a ton of kayaks out there. So I know you've been doing some research. Have you narrowed down your search on kayaks?
Yeah, I have. I've narrowed it down to like Hoodoo and Brooklyn kayaks.
Okay. So what we've been doing over the last couple of weeks is kind of just looking at all the different kayaks out there. Our main driver, really just based on Winna's dislikes last year with the Strike, was looking for something that was shorter in size. So I think maybe a max of like 10 feet, 10.2, and lightweight, so something that she could handle on her own. So one of the things that we did was to make a list of sort of the kayaks out there that she had narrowed it down to, and kind of throw them in a spreadsheet. So this is what we came up with. These are the kayaks, the 5 kayaks that she's narrowed them down to. And really the drivers around this, like I said, was mainly the size or the length of the kayak and the weight. So most of these come in at around between 9 and 10 feet. I think the longest one is 10 feet 2 inches, and the shortest is 9 feet. So Wynn, you want to tell us a little bit, about sort of the 5 kayaks that you sort of narrowed this down? And I say you have some pros and cons in here. Kind of just go through these kayaks and sort of, what you like about each of them, and sort of, what's not ringing your fancy, and how you kind of narrowed it down to these.
Well, some of them, they did have a sit on top, which I prefer more so than sitting. So I think the Pelican one, that's more of a sit in, and it kind of almost feels like a canoe type of rigged setup. So I really wanted to do more of like a kayak, version of it. But that one was more of a sit in, and
yeah, I think
sit-ins is just like easily to get wet on your bottom. It's not like high up and like have better like movement going on, whether you're fishing front or sideways, stuff like that. So with that, the Pelican.
Yeah, I think the Pelican was the only. I think the Pelican was the only one that was a sit-in. I think everything else is a sit on top. Let's see. I think I have a picture of the Pelican somewhere here, so we can kind of take a look at these real quick as we go.
What did Chris say?
Chris is in the chat. Oh, so all your brothers are here today. So this is what the Pelican looks like. So like Wynn said, it's a sit on top. It's a sit-in kayak. It's the only one that's a sit-in kayak. And one of the things we're looking for is kayaks that do have a framed seat. So that was one thing. All of them have a framed seat on it. But this is what the Pelican looks like. Not necessarily the color. that she will get, but that's sort of the layout of the kayak and what it looks like. And I think there was something else that you didn't like about the Pelican. Let me just throw your spreadsheet back up here. So what was it? What was the other con with the Pelican? Oh, no color choices.
Yeah, there's no color choices. It
So
just
that
says
is the color. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So color is important, right?
Yeah.
I think one of our other friends, M&K Outdoors, they're a daddy daughter fishing tandem here in South Jersey. When we did our last live, Kaylee was pushing for yellow as a color that she wanted you to look at or get. So okay, let's go through. Right, so that's the Pelican. What are some of the other ones that you sort of narrowed it down to?
Well, the Lifetime one, that one, we said like most of them are like sit on top, but that one's a sit on top. And it does come in 7 different colors, so you're not way down to just like 1 or 3. But I thought that one only had like 3 colors, or maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe
But
yeah. Oh no, the Lifetime. I think you're looking at the Hoodoo, which is the under it. The Lifetime did, I think, only come in one color.
oh, okay, yeah, the Lifetime one was like, yeah, it had limited colors. Pink only had 3 colors on the website.
I think the Hoodoo
Nothing
was the
else.
one that came in the most colors. The Lifetime did have limited colors. Let me see what the Lifetime looks like. I'll throw a picture of that up real quick so everybody can see what the Lifetime looks like. So that's the
That's the Crescent.
that's the Crescent.
Yeah.
That was the Lifetime. Oh, let me grab it here. Oh, here we go.
Right.
There you go. That's what so there's a Lifetime. Now it's kind of the only color I think that was close to a color that you wanted, right? Oh, we have
Yeah.
Gunslinger Outdoors. So thanks Gunslinger for the support, stopping by. So that's the Lifetime. Again, frame seat. I think this one only had a hatch in the back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that I know Wen was looking at and what was important to her was sort of the placement of the handles for carrying, because she is on the smaller side. So not only does she want a lighter kayak, but she wanted something that had handles that were placed more easily for her to be able to grab and sort of carry the boat if she had to. So that's the Lifetime. That was the Pelican.
So then the Hoodoo one, that one did have 7 different colors, and it was like they had 7 cool different colors. Like the color scheme of our background right now, kind of
Yeah.
like the deep blue sea one. That one was a really cool one. It had hot lava or like a lava version or something like that. But they had cool colors, a sit on top, a paddle keeper, and like front and rear handles. So like how the angler, the Teton angler looked,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like the holders of that too. So it still had functionality towards that.
Yeah, the Hoodoo had a pretty nice color scheme, and you know, I didn't even think about that, but it is kind of close to
Oh, it's not sit on top. Well, it is.
what our background colors are. And I think the Hoodoo is not the smallest. I think it's the second to the smallest. The only thing, I think this is the only one that we looked at that didn't have a frame seat. So let me just grab the.
Yeah, that one had the sit. So that one was sit on top, but it's like sit inside. Like there's no frame
There's no
sit.
frame seat.
Yeah,
I think this was the only one in the list that. So that's what the Hoodoo looks like. So it's a nice looking kayak. It has two hatches, which for its size. So this, I think the length on this is 9 feet 5 inches. Small tank well, but I think the tank well in the back is sort of relative to its size. It had as Wynn said, nice paddle keeper. And I think the handle placements too on this one was pretty good for you when you looked at it. Has 4 rod holders, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. Like the only thing I think I didn't like about this one was just this was the only one that didn't have a frame seat, and kind of like, well, I'm old, Wynn's young, so she probably good with that. But when you're fishing long days, that frame seat and having a better padded seat just really comes in handy for our seniors. Yes, so this is the what is it? I think it's called a Hoodoo Element 9.5 is this one. And then we had the so Hoodoo and the next one we're going to talk about, Brooklyn Kayak. Those are relatively new kayak companies, so they're both new companies that have popped up within the last 5 years that makes kayaks here in the U.S. So that was one of the things we were looking at too. If we can get a great kayak for a great price that sort of fit the mold, it's a plus, right? If they're being made here in the USA. And Hoodoo and I think Crescent too. I have to check with Lifetime. But I know Lifetime's been around, Crescent's been around, Pelican's definitely been around. I think Pelican's out of Canada. But Hoodoo and Brooklyn Kayaks are relatively new. So they're within the last 5 years. I think Hoodoo might be 2018 actually is when they got started. So talk to us a little bit about Brooklyn Kayaks and what you liked about
the Brooklyn Kayak. They had 4 colors, but still pretty cool colors. They had adjustable foot track for seating, so you're able to adjust whether you're longer legged or shorter legged. You can adjust it to how you want to be sitting, and that was like pretty cool. It had wide areas for storage, so that was good for that. And a paddle. Wait, no, sorry. They had I think that was about it. And it did have 2 rod holders.
Yeah, let me bring it up. I'll take a look at it. I forgot what it looks like. I know it was one of the ones that I had liked. It seemed to have offered a lot for the money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's one of the more pricey ones, but it kind of had a I think this was one of the ones that had some significant options. So it has 2 hatches. So it has a hatch in the front as well as a hatch right by the seat, and a square hatch at that. So it has a rectangular hatch by the seat, and which is larger. A hatch in the front. It has a frame seat. It had tracks in the front as well as rod holders in the back, cup holder, and this one also optionally can be fitted with a rudder. So that was the other thing about this one. You could actually put a rudder on the Brooklyn kayak. And I think this one was the smallest one out of all of them in length. I think this one came in at 9 feet 2 inches, and the Element was 9 feet 5 inches. So this one is actually the smallest one of the bunch, but it packed a lot in. And like I said, it's a company out of New Jersey, I think, northern Jersey. New Jersey. I think they have a warehouse in New Jersey, and I think the kayaks are actually built in Long Island. I think it is Long Island, New York, something like that. But it is, I think, one of the more pricier ones on the list. So, anything else you liked about this?
No.
This one had the adjustable foot pegs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that we were looking at.
So that's good. And then last but not least was the Crescent, I think it was. Yeah. So the Crescent Ultralight. So that was one we actually recently stumbled into maybe a week or two ago. So what was your pros and cons on the Crescent?
That they do have a couple ranges of colors, probably like 4 or 5. It's sort of similar like PJ's kayak, but it still has different features relating to like handles and storage capacity, and like I think more room, and there's no hatch in like the center. But
yeah, I'll throw a picture up real quick. So it does have a similar shape to the Strike HD that PJ has. Let's just see real quick here. Do I have the Crescent? Yeah. The Crescent was that like teal blue, right?
yeah, they had a teal blue, like that yellow one that
They had the yellow one, yeah. It had all the, they had the really, really funky colors. So that's the Crescent. So I mean, it's a lot of open space in the front. It also has the slide-in foot pegs, like the Brooklyn kayak. It only has one hatch though. It has a small. I don't know whether that's a 6 or 8 inch hatch in the front, but it does have for frame seat. It has tracks in the front and the back, and it has two. I think this is the one that had the two Yak Attack mounts as well. So those two square things behind the seats are actually Yak Attack mounts. So you can buy a lot of different accessories that would actually slide into those Yak Attack Mighty mounts, which makes it, very versatile as far as gear that you can add onto this. So other than the colors, anything else you liked? What was the con? Any cons on the Crescent?
Did I have any on the spreadsheet?
Yeah, I don't remember if we had any. I don't remember if there's anything we didn't like about it.
Yeah.
I mean, other than like the it only had the one small hatch up front. I don't know if there was anything else.
Probably not.
Oh, the price, right? So I think this was probably the highest priced one.
Right.
So the MSR on this one was $699, and so the range is from $399 to $699 is what we're looking at. But that's the 5 sort of that we narrowed it down to. So overall, what attracted you to these 5 kayaks? Why, with everything on the market, why these 5?
I saw that they were more efficient to like narrow down for me,
Hmm.
especially like um how how everything's rigged and like the setup that I would want to have on my kayak. Necessarily, they had the all the features.
So, oh, we got a question here from
The bigger guys.
D Sterling. He says, "How is the leg room for bigger guys?" So, I'm a bigger guy. So these kayaks, all of them are really geared to smaller bodies. So in each of these brands, so Lifetime, Hoodoo, like we have a Lifetime Sport Fisher, and that's geared more towards a bigger body. It's actually technically a tandem, but it's a 10-foot kayak. So PJ and I have actually tandemed in that boat, which is pretty funny. So each of these brands actually make kayaks for what I would consider a larger larger leg room or a bigger guy. But the 5 that we picked here, or that we when narrowed it down to, are really kayaks that more fit within her frame. So she's like, I don't know, like 110, 120, and short. Person. But within these brands, and there are a lot of other brands, that, like I said, can accommodate larger people. I would not suggest any of these kayaks for anybody. I would say, over 200, because even though some of these, like most of these kayaks here, and I'll list links. We have links to all these, and I'll put the links in the description. They're rated. Some of these are rated up to 275, 300 pounds, some of them. But really, when you start, at least from my experience, when you start looking at kayaks and sort of their weight rating, you really have to consider 2 things, right? Not only your size, but how much gear you taking with you, and with your size and the gear, is that pushing you right up to the weight rating, right? So if I was in a kayak that had a rate rating of 300, I would not have probably more than 250, really probably 225 worth of weight and gear in it. Because really what happens is you start to affect the stability of the kayak. So technically it would be able to carry 300 pounds, but probably on a perfect day, right? No waves, you're sitting square and perfect. So really, that's where you're looking into the kayak weight as not only just you, but how much gear you plan to take. How does that kayak perform when it's fully loaded on rough water as opposed to calm water, and also the type of fishing you do. So whether you're more lakes, rivers and streams, or inshore, or ocean, right? Because the types of kayaks that you look at, the length, the width, they all lend themselves to different bodies of water. So wider kayaks are way more stable, but they're usually slower because of the width. And if you're, doing, and they're heavier usually, right? So if you're doing lakes and streams, and you are constantly maybe having to pull the kayak through shallow water, right, to get to your next fishing spot, you may not necessarily want a heavier, wider kayak, right? You want a more narrow kayak, a little lighter kayak. If you're doing a lot of lakes and not lakes and streams, like rivers and streams, where you have deep pockets, shallow pockets. Whereas with lakes or rougher waters, if you're a bigger guy, you may want a more wider kayak. Like I fish out of a Hobie PA14. I mean, the thing is pretty much a John boat, right? It's massive, but it holds my weight no problem. I can load it down with gear. It has a maximum weight capacity of like 600 pounds. So not only my weight, but I got fish finders. I got um, uh, uh, I got an H crate in the back. I got a bunch of stuff on my kayak, and I don't even come close to the weight capacity of that, and it feels completely stable. So that's a great question. It is a lot of things that play into when you're looking for a kayak. It's your size, the length of the kayak, the type of water you're fishing. That's why it's always good to kind of do this kind of research. And I know it's tough with COVID, but if you get a chance, like really, like a lot of places that sell kayaks will let you go out and demo them, right? So you actually get the feel for the kayak. So if you get a chance and you're really interested in buying a kayak, I would encourage you to demo it, because the same kayaks from different manufacturers, same length, same size, just, could react totally different just because of the hull design or just the placement of things. So the best thing to do is always to demo it and take it out on the water if you can. But good question, D. Sterling. So how are you going to make your final choices on these ones? So how would you go about narrowing down the list? Is what's some of the things that's more important for you that are going to end up helping you make a decision on what you're going to end up going with?
I would say sustainability, on like how some of the rigs are to be able to fish out of it will work best for me, and how what I'm like gearing towards far as like the fishing season and budget wise.
So we got another question. That's a good question. It's something actually that I omitted. I think it comes from Al Platt. It's not a stupid question. It is actually a major question. So transportability is right up there with when you're looking for a kayak, not only for your weight capacity, what you plan to take, the type of waters you fish. The other big thing is transporting it, right? Whether you have a truck, a SUV, a car. So of course, heavier kayaks, like my kayak fully loaded, not even fully loaded. My kayak with just the seat and the pedal drive is probably around 125, 150 pounds, right? So car topping my kayak, can it be done? Yes. Do I do it? Absolutely not. I actually don't know many people that car top a PA-14. But the sport fisher that we throw up on top of the Jeep all the time. So what I had to do when I was planning out for my kayak, and not only that, I knew we would sort of be getting into this as a family, so I knew we'd be getting more kayaks, is plan out how we're going to transport those kayaks, right? I don't have a pickup truck. I have a SUV and I have a car. So for me, one of the things that I planned in and researched was getting a trailer. I have a Malone Megasport. So that is a super important thing to consider, is how you're going to transport it. And even if you have an SUV and you can car top it, which Wynn is going to be doing if she's not going with me out. She just maybe want to go out for a day. That's why she's looking for a kayak that's the weight capacity is something that she can handle. You have to make sure that you have the roof racks and everything else to be able to car top it. So that is definitely something that you have to consider when buying a kayak or kayaks. There really isn't any pros or cons. It's really based on the type of vehicle you have, and then what are the options with your vehicle. And there are weird things that pop up. Like, I have a trailer, but my wife bought a SUV, And she happened to buy one of those SUVs that have the little sensor in the back where you wave your foot and the trunk open. So we didn't even think about it at the time, but like we actually can't even get a trailer hitch for that car. So we have a car or another SUV that technically has the capacity to pull the trailers, because the kayak trailer, because it's not that heavy, but because of that sensor in the back with the foot thing, you can't put a hitch on there easily. So things like that pop in. So definitely research how you plan to transport it and also how you plan to store it, right? So if you get a long kayak that's 14 or 13 and a half inches feet long, and you live in an apartment, good luck, right? So you may need to have rent out a storage space or a friend's garage or a carport. So that's a great question. How you're going to transport it, how you're going to store it, just as important as the type of kayak you pick. Great question. I think that's April. Thanks, April. So when you're narrowing this down, how anything else that's going to go into that decision?
Along with the transportability.
Is price how price sensitive is this decision sort of out of this list? Because I mean it's a significant range. I mean, you're going from $400 to $700. So there's a $300 difference between the cheapest one and the most expensive one. So how price sensitive is the decision?
Pretty price sensitive.
So if you have the right kayak, is it more important for you to get the right kayak within this group that fits you, or is it more important for you to get a kayak that's sort of cheaper in price? So which two things you think are going to be a higher determinant? The sort of a kayak that fits you better, or a kayak that's lower priced on this list?
Kayak that would fit me better.
Okay. And that's a good answer. And I can just tell you from experience, because I kind of I kind of got back into fishing, and like a buddy of mine was like fishing out of a kayak, and then I started watching YouTube videos and kayak fishing. I just went out and bought a sport fisher, and really the only determining factors really for me at that time, I think it was like 3 years ago, whatever it was I just wanted something that would, hold my weight and had decent stability. And I didn't really look at anything else. I didn't look at options. I didn't think about the type of water I would be fishing most of the time. And that's how I ended up with the sport fishing. And it was not a bad kayak. It's actually a really good starter kayak, but it had when I got it and I started getting into more things, it had no tracks on it, and it had really no ability to take tracks kind of the way it's laid out. It didn't have any foot pegs. The kind of foot pegs were built in, so if they didn't kind of be right at where you needed them, good luck. It didn't have a frame seat. It had one of those, regular, just a regular padded seat that sits on the kayak. And it's good, like I said, for the first hour or two, but if you're on the water for 3-4 hours,
right.
I don't care how many extra cushions you get. It's just, and Wynn's laughing because even with her size, it's just not really comfortable. And then, when I knew that this was something that I was going to stick with and I enjoyed it, the amount of research that I put in to get my second kayak, which was the Hobie PA14, as compared to the Sport Fisher, was like night and day. So, and that just comes with either experience or it comes with having, more information. And that's one of the reasons why we, started the channel, is knowing that, it's better to do a little bit more homework, even if you're just jumping in. And it's also better to get a little bit better kayak and spend a little bit more money up front, because you'll be a lot happier and you'll have a lot more options down the road. So there are great, there are kayaks that are really cheap. You can go into Walmart, you can get the Sun Dolphins, and they're great for kids and stuff like that, recreational. But if you spend even sometimes just $100 more money, you can get things like tracks where you can add extra gear. You can get the foot pegs where the adjustable foot pegs. So sometimes I guess it's like anything else, right? If going cheap, just understand what you're getting for that. And it also doesn't mean that you have to buy a Cadillac, right, to get a great kayak. So it's kind of both extremes, right? You don't need to spend a ton of money to get a great kayak, and you don't need to cheap out to get a great one. So that's good. So when do you plan to rig your kayak out? I mean, I know I go a little bit overboard sometimes. I got other stuff for mine, but
I try to rig it out with like a GoPro.
So you're definitely gonna get a GoPro. So you want to put a camera on it. Anything else that you're gonna rig your kayak with?
Maybe a fish finder.
Oh, look at her! She's trying to go with the electronics. She's trying to get okay. So definitely a GoPro, maybe a fish finder. Anything else? I mean, you've been out there now, so you've kind of got the feel of what you may want, need, don't need.
Where's those two? I feel like just those two.
Okay. Maybe. So when you plan to get this kayak, like, what's your timing of actually taking delivery or picking up this kayak?
Hopefully soon, like before the fishing season starts. So that's coming up soon.
Yeah, so what we wanted to do, like what we're going to be doing is a series of either live events or just posting videos sort of along the way of this process. So we've done a lot of research. We kind of narrowed it down to these 5. We're probably going to spend the next weekend or week just kind of honing in on that one. And then reaching out to the company or dealer. And that's the other thing. Some of these kayaks you can buy through a dealer. Some of them you can go directly to the company to buy. Some both. And we're going to figure out the best price we can to get on a kayak. I've actually reached out to Pelican, Hoodoo, and Brooklyn just to see if they want to do like a collaboration. Like if we pick up a kayak, they can, want to be part of us sort of filming the whole process of us going through purchasing and acquiring and rigging out the kayak. I haven't heard back from any of them yet. But that's, that may be another way for some of you if you're looking to get going and you got a channel out there. Some of these kayak manufacturers may be willing to partner with you as a brand ambassador or at least give you some discounts if you're going to be promoting their products. So that's another tip out there if you guys are looking to get a kayak. And then we're gonna take everybody through the process of once we get it, rigging it out, and her first trips out on the water. So I think it's be pretty cool. We wanted to do this because she's new to it. Even though I've been through it, I'm still new to it. And I know there was a lot of questions I had. There was a lot of things that I looked at, and there's a huge gap, right, between guys that are, you can find a lot of YouTube videos out there, and there are a lot of guys and gals out there putting up YouTube videos on their kayaks and things like that. And a lot of them are just geared towards people who are kind of already in the sport, or they're geared towards some of the higher end kayaks and things like that. And I think that's great. But we wanted to sort of take it from a total beginner's point of view and kind of put content out there for someone who's never done it, just getting into it, and kind of take it from that perspective, and maybe somebody who's interested in getting a kayak and kind of is afraid of all of the bigger stuff out there may find Win series more approachable, because it's it's from a beginner's point of view. So that was a big impetus behind putting this out. The chat room is up. I saw there was a couple of other questions in here. But like I said, if anybody has any experience on any of these brands, the Life Sport Teton Angler, the Hoodoo Element 95, the Pelican Argo 100, XP Angler, the Brooklyn Kayak BKC FK 285, or the Crescent Ultralight, or any other one that we're missing. We did our homework, but there are a ton of kayaks out there. You kind of know what Wen's looking for, something between 9 and 10 feet, 10.2. I think 60 pounds is probably the max. So we try to look for, and all these are, well under 60. I think the heaviest one maybe like 53 pounds. But if there are kayaks out there or brands out there that you guys know about that we missed, by all means, reach out to us on the channel or either on YouTube in the comments when this gets posted, on Facebook, on Instagram. And we'll be, like I said, we'll be posting updates and doing more lives on this as we go. But the more information we can share with everybody, the better. So when, are you going to return the favor to your brother when you get your kayak?
What, let him use mine?
Is he still in the? Is PJ still out here? Yeah, Hive Mind still out there. Yeah, you gonna let him use the car? Wait, hold on. He just put up something. That's Hive Mind. He says he loves the strikes over here. Yeah, you gonna return the favor and let your brother use your kayak or take your kayak out?
Maybe.
She says maybe. Oh, I like that. So technically, PJ really doesn't love the kayaks. He barely used his kayak this year. That's why Wen has such free reign on it. I think she knows his Strike HD better than he does. Yeah, you got the rigging on that thing and getting it off the trailer and in the water and back up. I think you can do it better than he does it. But again, he's like, is it really all good, PJ? Is it? He's feeling some kind of way, ladies and gentlemen. But we hope to have Wen's kayak in the door. I see Ghetto Yackers is in the house. He says they get second billing these days. Yes, you do. So I don't even want to hesitate around that. It's YAKnDaughter. So yeah, you guys definitely get second billing. I actually think Winna, that's one of the things we're going to do this year. So hopefully we can get everybody on the water. I don't see my other son, Russell. I don't think he's on the live. But Chris is here. PJ's here. You guys have both seen him on the channel. Russell's been on the channel once. I think that video is Return of the Prodigal Son. Go check it out. And it was actually his first time out kayak fishing, very first time. So kayak fishing. So it was a pretty funny day with him. But Chris has been out a couple of times. Go check out his video or videos. The reason why we call him Ghetto Yacker, there's a video out there called Ghetto Yacker. And as soon as you watch that video, you'll know why he's called Ghetto Yacker. He's bringing the urban kayak wear back, or he's breaking a new mold with the urban kayak wear. But we're going to try to get everybody on the water at the same time and see who fishes or outfishes, because my money will be on Baby Girl, because I think she can outfish all my boys at this point. What do you think, Baby Girl?
I think so.
But thank you guys for joining the channel. Like I said, we hope to have this posted up We look forward to doing more live events. That's, like I said, that's one of the things we wanted to get into. We hope this was helpful. We plan to track the whole journey on this process and share it on the channel. Winna, any additional comments? Any thoughts?
I think April just asked, was I planning on going out on my own or more than together? I think so.
So the comment.
Yeah.
Oh, she says, is Winna planning on going out her own more than? Yeah. I don't know. When are you?
Yeah. Planning to when I get my kayak.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, I can't speak for her, but one of the things that we're trying to do is that's what, get a kayak that's light enough for her to handle completely on her own. She's got a car. You have roof rack on your car?
No.
No. So again, like, she's got to get a roof rack, but that's part of the plan is to get her to the point where, if I'm not around and she wants to just grab the boat and go out and chill out on the water for the day, she has a boat that she's capable of handling on her own. She has the ability to transport it, and the other stuff is kind of comes with the territory. She's been out enough times now, so I have good confidence in her. She knows how to get a boat on and off the water. She knows how to strap it down. So that part kind of took care of itself this year or last year. I guess it's like everything else, right? Time and opportunity. So we'll get the boat, and we'll see. Why are you trying to get my daughter to leave me behind? My sons already do it. I mean, that's why she's number one right now, is because she goes with me, and now you're giving her ideas about going out without the old man. April, I don't know about that. Thought we were friends.
Coming to you soon. What's this saying?
What's it? Hold on. Yeah. Chris said, out of sight, out of mind. Coming to you soon. What's coming to us soon? What's coming to us soon, Ghetto Yakker? So again, well, he was just curious. No, it was good. Listen, it's a family channel. We're not trying to be solo. At least I can speak for myself. I'm sure my kids are trying to leave me behind as soon as they can, but I'm trying to hold on to them as long as I can. But no, it's just cool. It's cool. It's cool being out with them. But I also want them to be able to, get out there and go when they want to go. When April said maybe her boys will call you when they want to go out. See, we can start I can help Winna start a guide service.
A guide service. Yeah.
See, is anybody else hanging around? So I appreciate everybody getting on. I appreciate all the feedback and comments. Again, if anybody's got any experience with any of the kayaks that we have on the list, or any kayaks that we haven't put on the list, please drop us a line.
That's the boys' words.
Please drop us a line, because I would definitely appreciate that information. So as always, stay safe. Try to get outdoors. I hope this has been good for you guys, and you got something out of it. Thanks for listening and joining our live event. This is Patrick.
This is Winna.
And we're signing off.
Right.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. All the links to our different social media platforms will be in the description of the video when we post it. The comments will stay up when we end the broadcast. So the folks in the chat room, by all means, just continue to eke out in the chats. Bye.
See ya.